Unhyped or unknown hidden fragrance gems. Millions of them. But I feel it's my responsibility to put you guys on, especially the ones who like to fly under the radar, stay exclusive, separate themselves from anybody else, whether it be from the artistic standpoint or just the ego portion that I don't want to smell like nobody else around me in my camp.
I'm the only one.
So I've compiled a list of 10 different fragrances that maybe have no hype, or if they have any kind of hype, it's only been because I've spoken about them, that I think that you should potentially sample or look into based only if our noses align. Let's roll map with music so I can put you on to 10 flying under the radar, unhyped, hidden gem fragrances.
We're all alone. From the south side, in case you cared, out of all your friends, I wanna be
Listen, one of my beautiful peoples, you know who it is. It's your boy, 𝐷𝐸 Keeping on the low. Sample game is gonna be on point after this video because a lot of people whose noses align with mine are gonna be like, damn man, I've never heard of that fragrance and Ivonko Kuba likes it. He's recommended X amount of fragrances that I rock with, so why not give these a go? So the first fragrance I'm gonna start off with is by a brand that I fully thought was only for the ladies. But this one, out of all the fragrances they sent over to me, stood out crazy. And that's by the house of 𝐾𝐈𝐍𝐿�e, and that's sugared patchouli. Yo, amazing rum and patchouli fragrance sprinkled with powdered sugar all over their chesticles. This joint is incredibly beautiful. It's got unisex energy, but for me, it screams sexy masculinity. However, somebody like my chick who likes to wear more masculine, darker scent profiles could pull this off elegantly, exquisitely. But I haven't heard not one person talk about this fragrance. Granted, I don't watch many other content creators either, but generally the hype fragrances always come up in my For You page or my Instagram feed really quickly. So if any kind of fragrance has any kind of hype, I'm gonna hear about it at some point. This one, I haven't heard anything about, and there is a gorgeous, sweet patchouli rummy essence in this fragrance that is beautiful. Ambery notes, a bunch of beautiful woods, ultra going out, sexy energy drizzled all over this fragrance. An absolutely remarkable scent profile by the house of 𝐾𝐈𝐍𝑒. Possibly my favorite from the entire house, but again, has no hype, and I think people should definitely test this joint out. So there you go, next one. Now this fragrance, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of hype on it on this channel. I love this one, the best one from the entire lineup of a house that came out of absolutely nowhere, and that's the house of 𝐷𝐸, and this one is Tobacco flirting with vanilla. I mean, pure sex appeal, a perfectly balanced, boozy, black and mild cigar at the bodega with a cherry essence and some vanilla energy. The cat is sleeping on the bread as we speak. You walk in and you see the big 42 pack of Black and Milds and you're like, yo, Habibi, let me get 2 of them joints. You rip that cellophane wrapper, you put that plastic bit in your mouth and you keep it pushing like you old school swag energy.
Yeah. That's right.
Remarkably sexy, ultra voluptuous. This is like a big breasted animal that you just don't want to let leave your bedroom. This is eroticism in a bottle. I absolutely love this joint. If there's any con to this fragrance is that it might not potentially be hot weather appropriate. Some people can wear fragrances all year round and really don't care. That's dope too. But for me, it just leans more chilly weather energy. But sex appeal and under the radar, this absolutely is. So you're welcome. Next one. Now this joint is a problem, and my wife just bought me my first full bottle of this joint because I only had a sample, and it's a latest release from Kilian, and that's Smoking Hot. This will be maybe the second time that I wear it out of this bottle instead of the sample, and I must say that I am super impressed. And the thing is that upon first smelling it, I liked it. Wearing it over and over really continued to bring out so many sexy features in this fragrance. Like the apple is very crisp and green. The smoke in here is sugary and delicious, almost with a Baccarat Rouge 540 sprinkle mixed with like their Black Phantom one. Then in that midsection, you get this earthy, deliciously sweet pipe tobacco energy with all the smoke that you want. You want smoke, you got smoke.
Put that in your hype.
But it always keeps this cherry essence about this joint that's perfect. It's like a little maraschino cherry syrup drizzled all over a tobacco leaf before you crack it, break it, put some graba in it, and do whatever the hell you do. Shout out to the Bronx. Although it's a new release and some people may have spoken about it recently, I don't think it's got hype. I think it's gonna take some working for people to really try out this fragrance. Give it a couple of wears so you can truly see how it develops on your skin and the beauty that is in this fragrance. I feel like Black Phantom wasn't an instant hit when it came out. It took some time to develop and wear for people to really appreciate this joint, but Smoking Hot definitely has that kind of energy. So hey, who told you first? Next one. Now yes, I understand this fragrance name might be a little bit controversial, dedicated to the opium wars of China back in the day until they started to trickle over to the West Coast and then only drizzled its presence in the New York metropolitan area, I would say around the 70s and 80s, because we're talking about a little China White. Nasamato's China White smells like some dusty, illegal product. It smells fucking fantastic. If you're a person that appreciates powder, this is powder done right. It's floral, it's powder, it's a little bit softer than some people may have anticipated, but it lasts crazy and it projects insane. Right now, I'm dying right now. I feel like I ripped a couple of lines and there was a sprinkle of fentanyl in it. I don't wanna die.
It's over.
Floral powder beast. It does smell like narcotic essences. Now, if you've never seen, touched, or whatever, just watch a couple of episodes of Narcos and just picture what that fragrance would smell like if there was a powder of white sugar on the table. Shout out to Griselda.
It's called cocaine, and you don't want no part of this shit.
So if you're into powdery scents and you want something very different from anything else in your collection, a little Nasamato China White might wake you up and put you to sleep. Next one. I got reintroduced to this gem recently and man, it is so good, and so many other fragrances within this house have been getting a ton of hype. Nobody has spoken about this fragrance in at least, what, 6 years or so? We're talking about Mortal Skin by Stefan Umber Lucas, the original Black Snake. Inky fruit is the best way to describe this fragrance, with a potency of incensey smoke. This shit is crazy. Such a vibe of a fragrance, almost like for some reason the way my medulla is processing this shit is a little bit of like that musky inkiness that I get from like a Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir kind of energy, but just like taken up tenfold. Woody, musky, sexy, inky, sweet, smoky, little fruity. Complex fragrance is not for the faint of heart, but it's not also drastically like, oh, this is too crazy, or this is too niche, or too artistic for my taste. No, no, no. This has a mass appeal. This has an exclusivity. This has some differentiating energy that you can get away from all the basic redundancy of some of these other fragrances and tap into some fire, or in this case, some Mortal Skin. Next one. Now this fragrance really flies in the back burner. It's like you having a ultra hot sibling and nobody ever look at you.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
They always look at your sibling like, ah, you could be a model. Wow, put this child in magazines. It's like a porcelain doll. And then when they look at you, they're like, oh my God, cute hair. Look at those dimples. Ooh, you got a face for radio.
Best do I look like I care? No.
And I think that's what happens to this fragrance, because 𝐼𝐻𝐼𝐿 takes all the attention, but nobody speaks about B683. This joint is fantastically elegant. But please be sure not to get the extrait version of this. I'm talking about just the original. The extrait is ass. I do not like that shit at all. I feel like they took something so beautiful and destroyed it with this extrait. But this is like Fahrenheit did steroids, went on a complete cycle, got a facelift, got a penis enhancement shot, which I'm calling Dr. Miami tomorrow.
Hello, penis enlargement clinic.
And really tapped into the world of elegance, sophistication, and BDE.
You want big dick energy? This is it.
Ultra sexy, spicy, amazing lavender. It's got a little bit of a funky cumin energy. Just keep that in mind, but that cumin really performs as a base and not an overall star in this fragrance. It's all about that violet leaf. It's all about the little nutmeg energy. Like I mentioned, it's got some red pepper vibes. It's got some ambery vibes. It's got ambroxan in it, but it's not the ambroxan you would pick up like in a Sauvage or some shit. This is big boy shit. This is a dude who has his wife at home, is very faithful faithful until he goes chills with his gumad. Next one. Now this one's a little sleeper. A very impressive boozy fragrance by a house that nobody's ever heard of because it's a very, very tiny niche indie house. But in going through the collection and trying to pinpoint some undiscovered hypes that I really liked, especially when I've worn them once or twice, this one came up, and that's 𝐶𝐈𝐍𝐻 51. It's a very, very good bourbon-y booze type lituation. The shit is made like in the heart of Tennessee or Nebraska or some southern state that they have a drawl. But the dude really focused on making this shit smell like a straight up DUI. So hey, I respect it as a bourbon whiskey aficionado, aka I'll just drink it. I'm not an aficionado. I'm not an expert in anything. I just want high proof that'll get me trash and forget about my life.
Julian.
This joint is definitely a good one. They have a couple of other releases, but this one for me is the standout piece by far. It's a very good boozy, like if you're looking for a true cask age bourbon scent, if that's your type of energy, then 𝐶𝐈𝐍𝐻 51, a sleeper, bro. It's still good as shit. Oof, you can smell the wood essence and mistakes. Next one. I bought this joint at retail, kind of, but I'd never heard of this joint. I smelled it over at Neiman and I picked it up right on the spot because I felt like Roes Noir by Montclair deserved a little bit of attention from Uncle Cooper. What a gorgeous musky spice with a little pencil lead shaving action. You know, when you used to eat lead paint chips on the wall when you were a kid? What, didn't you do that sitting next to the steam radiator with paint chips as well? God, you guys had whack childhoods. Let me guess, you had a house with a picket fence? Loser. What? This joint right here. Musky, vetiver, spicy, very introspective, very intelligent, very just chill back vibe, smoking a cigar, having a cocktail, lounging out, letting that spicy vetiver dryness just leach off, just project off the skin, trying to catch attention to anybody else who's walking by because you're not looking at them, you focused on your smoke energy. But when you have that little lituation that happens and they're just like, you like, yeah, I'm him. That's the type of energy this Montclair Roes Noir has. So under the radar, go to the department store, sample this joint, because I don't know who else would be selling a sample of this. Maybe I'll sell a sample. Reach out. Next one. If a Dominican Nutella existed, this would smell like that, and that's Days 3 Filosofia. That's what it smells like. Dominican Nutella. Chocolate, latte-ish, creamy sandwich spread with spice. Leave it to a Latino to take a Nutella spread and be like, yo, déme ponerle un poquito de pimienta arriba. How you gonna put like pepper and spice on top of chocolate, papo? But sweet and savory works. Spicy and chocolate works. So you take a dark chocolate essence, you mix it with a little bit of a hazelnut, a couple of drops of vanilla extract, and then you just salt base some pepper on this joint. This is the type of joint that you're getting here. Great performance, very sexy, night out, completely interesting conversation icebreaker from a house that nobody knows of. So if you want something very interesting with a little Dominicano kind of energy, Filosofia by Day 3, just remember who told you. And finally, the craziest beast mode fragrance in this entire lineup. I mean, the entire house should be named 10 hours plus as far as performance is concerned, because Primera Parfums just makes grenade fragrances. That's all it is. Monster performing, long lasting, opulent Middle Eastern fragrances, and Vier Amber is no exception. This joint is crazy. Smoky, sexy, incensey, deliciously sweet, very well balanced with an amazing sillage that makes the scent almost thought-provoking. Vanillic, suede, leather, peppercorn. But when you get to the dry down, that vetiver oud, papo, woody, oody, sweet, beautiful leather, very potent, and glorious puffs of pepper with like 7 weeks of performance behind it. Just get an exploration kit from this house and start running an experiment. Let's see which one lasts the longest. And the one with the minimal performance would be in that 9-hour space, if that. I challenge you, go get like a little sample kit from this house and see which one of the fragrances lasts under 10 hours off your skin with like a 5 sprayer. Good luck with the test. And these are 10 fragrances that I truly feel hide right under the radar. It's being murked on some Mach 17 with some sniper camo all over it because nobody's talking about these joints. So it provides you an opportunity to be absolutely different, ultra exclusive, and discover fragrance houses or fragrances that potentially have zero hype and are just excellent. But only your nose can be the determining factor. I always say, don't trust me, trust your skin. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. I'll put a couple of links in the description if you're interested in any of these fragrances. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave in the comment below what hidden gem is in your collection that'll blow my doors off, and maybe I'll visit it in a future video. Smooches.
Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense, you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.